For some time now, we've tried to figure out some way that we could be in better touch with you.
And it's nice to be able to sit down and chat a little bit about some of the things going on.
It's going to be rather informal and a little bit disorganized.
So we'll try to keep it on that kind of an easygoing, informal basis.
And we hope that it will be useful in maintaining the kind of communication that you'd like to have.
Hi, I'm Doug DeVos.
And I'm Steve Van Andel.
And we want to welcome you to Open Meeting.
Hi, everybody. This is Open Meeting, where Doug and I get a chance to talk to you about things that are important in the business. This segment is called From the Archives. And From the Archives is a segment that we kind of go back and look at different things, whether we find maybe a speech or something that happened previously that we think is important to talk about. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Amway's place in kind of the entrepreneurial environment. And we're going to talk a little bit about what it takes to motivate the young entrepreneur.
Yeah, so we're going to take a listen to a lot of that motivation and that encouragement for people early in the Amway business, the early 1970s, from a speech that Rich did called "Try or Cry," and so it was a pretty impactful speech. I think we remember it in the early days of the business, and to hear it again can bring back a lot of memories, but I think also a lot of learnings. That's why this segment's a pretty good segment. So let's take a peek at it, huh? All right, now.
I don't care what your dream is. If you've ever dared to dream about doing greater things, somebody is going to tell you why you can't do it. This world is filled with people who have been telling everybody else why you can't do it. But I think you're going to be bugged, and I hope you are for the rest of your life, about the fact that you will never know what you could have done because you never tried. You know, when we sat in the basement 12 years ago and started this organization, we did some very simple things. We haven't strayed too much from them. We said we wanted to build a business that anybody could start, no matter who they were, where they came from, what their education, what their color, what their religion. We just didn't care. Because we believed that most people, given a chance, would do something with it. If we could but get them to make those first stumbling, stuttering, fear-filled steps forward.
Pretty good stuff. Wow. The thing that hit me was when he says 12 years ago, and to think of how early that was in time, but in the context of the business just getting started, just like anyone today watching, you may be in that stage just getting started, how important it is to encourage somebody to take that entrepreneurial risk. We kind of find that out with even in the ager studies today, that there's a lot of people who like the idea, but have a tough time getting started.
Yeah, and that's always been part of the business, because when you come into the business, not everybody is successful, but not everybody really takes the first step. They need to move forward, and they need to begin to see what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And if you're an entrepreneur, who knows exactly where that first step goes? It may go in one direction, and you may have to shift back to another. Yeah. But you have to start moving forward.
Yeah, and I think the other element, Steve, is that fear is still that huge element that can hold somebody back. And so taking that first step is still one of the most difficult challenges in an entrepreneurial experience.
And when Rich did the speech, he saw that, and he understood very well that being an entrepreneur was something where you had to take those steps forward. It's kind of like what Doug and I are doing right now. We've never done this before. This is something new for us.
Exactly.
But we're taking a step, and we're trying it, and we realize that we'd like to communicate with you and tell you what's going on, and this is our way of doing it, but it's a different way and something we hadn't done before.
Yeah, excellent. We might look a little silly. We might make a few mistakes. It's a lot easier not to do something. It's a lot easier just to step back. And whether it's kind of something like this program, or some of the strategies we have with Amway Next, how we're looking at the business going forward, some of the decisions that we've made about how to improve the business today, it has the same sort of fear factor or the risk element there of, boy, what if this doesn't work? What if somebody sees it? What if we embarrass ourselves? But we have to overcome those fears, work with people and say, let's keep taking steps forward. So
I kind of like From the Archives.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of principles that are part of the business, that are foundations in the business, that it'll be fun to go back to and find things in the archives that tell us, here's what the business is all about.
Sometimes we think we're doing everything for the first time, and you got to realize, well, you can learn from things that when it was the first time. It feels like the first time to us, so you can take a little support knowing that, hey, there are others that have gone through it. And if we're taking risks, we can keep moving on and building on the foundations of the past. So this is a great segment. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for joining us, and hope you enjoy it too.